The entire cafeteria went silent the moment it happened. Asterisk one sharp RRIP of fabric. One cruel laugh, and the new girl's dress hung halfway off her shoulder. Torn in front of everyone. Gasps, shock, laughter, phones being raised. And in the center of it all stood Amara, frozen, humiliated, her eyes wide, not with fear, but with something deeper, something dangerous. They had no idea what they'd just done. She had begged her mom not to transfer her again. It was the 4th school in 2 years. Every time they moved, Amara started from scratch. New uniforms, new faces, new whispers in the hallways. But she kept her head down, tried to blend in, and avoided the drama that came with teenage cruelty. She'd learned to keep her mouth shut and stay out of trouble. Until now, the school was elite. Polished floors, a fancy entrance, perfect lawns, and even more perfect students on the surface. But beneath the gloss were kids like Roxy and her crew, rich, bored, and cruel. Their favorite pastime? Picking apart anyone who didn't meet their impossible standards? Asterisk. Amara showed up in a second-hand floral dress and thrifted sneakers. She was confident, calm, and soft-spoken. She never tried to compete. She wasn't there to impress. But that in itself made her a target. Asterisk, she thinks she's better than us. Roxy had sneered one morning loud enough for others to hear. Walking around like she's some kind of saint, Mara ignored it, but the resentment simmered. Asterisk, the day it happened was supposed to be Student Spotlight Day, where everyone presented their hobbies and personal stories in front of their classmates. It was meant to encourage bonding. Amara hesitantly signed up to speak about her passion-mixed martial arts. Something she'd done since she was 9. Something that had saved her from fear and made her feel powerful in a world that often made her feel small. Asterisk, but when she stepped into the cafeteria to give her short speech, wearing her only nice dress and holding a few self-defense medals in her hand, she barely made it 5 steps before Roxy accidentally spilled orange juice on her shoes. Asterisk, oh no.
Asterisk.
With a mock gasp. I guess we all can't afford backups. The cafeteria snickered. Amara exhaled slowly and kept walking. But Roxy wasn't done. As Amara passed, Roxy reached out, grabbed the back of her dress and yanked. A loud rear-up. A flash of fabric tearing, and then silence. Asterisk students froze. Phones already up. Laughter started, but faltered quickly when they saw Amara's face. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She didn't run away. She turned around, her eyes locked with Roxy's. Calm, cold. Asterisk, what are you gonna do? Roxy smirked, half nervous. Cry. Asterisk, Amara didn't speak. She didn't raise her fists. She simply dropped her medal on the floor with a soft clink. Then she took a quiet step forward. Asterisk, back off. We were just joking. One of Roxy's friends muttered, but it was too late. Amara moved fast, with the speed of a trained fighter. She stepped into Roxy's space, grabbed her wrist knot hard, but firm and twisted. Roxy yelped. Before anyone could blink, Amara swept her leg behind Roxy's, sending her to the ground, not brutally, but controlled. A clean, perfect takedown. Gasps exploded. One of Roxy's crew rushed forward, but Amara sidestepped, spun low, and swept her leg around, forcing the girl to stumble back. Asterisk, not a punch was thrown, not a face was hit. The 2 girls sat on the floor, stunned, and Amara. She stood straight, breathing steady, her ripped dress fluttering slightly in the draft. Asterisk, you think I'm weak because I don't speak? Amara said softly, looking out at the room. But I speak with actions. I speak for everyone you've torn down. Asterisk, she turned, picked up her medal, and walked out of the cafeteria. Dress torn, but pride completely intact. The video hit TikTok within minutes. Asterisk, Roxy finally gets what she deserves. Asterisk, quiet girl uses real combat skills. Asterisk, she's a queen. Overnight, Amara went from invisible to unstoppable. People at school began whispering in admiration. Teachers watched the video and quietly nodded. Even the principal, when called to deal with the incident, simply said, "Self-defense is not violence when it's measured and controlled." Roxy and her group were suspended for harassment. For the first time, their power meant nothing. Amara was offered a chance to speak again, this time at the school assembly. She hesitated. But then she remembered the looks on the faces of students who had stayed silent that day. The ones who hadn't laughed, the ones who had watched with wide, hopeful eyes. She stood on the stage the next Friday in her jeans and hoodie. No makeup. No medals. Just truth. Some people speak with popularity. Some speak with money. But I speak through strength, not to hurt people, but to remind myself I can't be broken. A pause. You might tear someone's clothes, but you can't tear their spirit unless they let you. The room was quiet, and then came the applause. Amara didn't become prom queen. She didn't suddenly sit at the cool table. She didn't want that. What she got instead was better. Respect, the quiet girl with the thrifted dress, had reminded them all sometimes. The most powerful fighter is the one who doesn't need to throw a punch to win. Moral of the story, dignity isn't something anyone can give you. It's something you own, even when others try to strip it away. Strength doesn't always look loud or angry. Sometimes it looks like calm confidence and one perfect move at the perfect moment.